Hi there, my name is Lo. Welcome to my channel where I discuss everything between Hermes and grocery bags. Today I'm doing another edition of Tea and Thoughts. I'm not planning to go full essay style like I've done in a couple of videos before, but I did want to share some luxury items that I'm hoping I will never buy, items I don't really understand why people would buy a luxury edition of, and I've decided to put them on a scale of never ever buying them to I might just be tempted into buying them, although frankly I don't really have a very good reason to do so. With me today I have my Eigner Eva bag, which is pretty new and I've been enjoying it quite a bit. And I just have my phone here with the list of items on it so I don't lose track of everything I want to talk about today. So those of you who might watch my videos more often will know that I'm really about handbags when it comes to luxury. I've touched upon this in a number of videos, so I made a video about why I don't really spend money on SLGs, and I also did a video some time ago about spending your money on luxury in the more generic sense, where I also explained that the likelihood of you as an average person to be able to afford everything luxury within your lifestyle is quite unlikely. So you might just have to decide what luxury items you're gonna go for, and I personally get my luxury kick out of handbags. Not to say that I'm never tempted by other luxury items. I watch quite a number of luxury YouTubers, and of course, and like so many of us out there, I also feel tempted sometimes to spend money on other luxury items, yet they are really not equally attractive to me. So starting off my list with the item I'm very unlikely to buy in a luxury or designer form, that would be luggage. And then I'm particularly talking about suitcases, so a travel bag perhaps, but definitely not a suitcase. Generally, I don't really understand why people get these. Luggage is something I find just needs to be practical. If you're traveling, it's likely to get banged up. Well, I don't like my luxury stuff to get banged up. It exudes that it is an expensive bag, which first of all will probably make it more prone to theft. On the other hand, I think it also exudes when you are carrying it around that you have that type of money to spend on luggage. And the way I travel and the places I travel, that is generally not something I would want to signal. The second item I'm pretty sure I'm never going to get is a key holder. I don't really know why people need to carry so many keys around. 90% of the time I only carry around one key. So having a key holder in which you could put 6 keys, I get the use and the purpose of key holders, but I just don't have so many keys. So putting my one key into a key holder, that just seems like a massive waste of space. But probably that is just me because I've seen this recommended by a number of YouTubers as sort of an essential SLG that you would like to have in your collection. I cannot really imagine a scenario where I would have to carry so many keys. So key holders is just a no for me. Then Twillies, possibly very unpopular opinion. I again see so many YouTubers who have a massive amount of Twillies, so many that it goes beyond the amount of luxury bags that they have. I've never put a Twilly on a bag. Twillies are not really my style, even though I think they can look cute on a bag. Let's say that I would want to put a Twilly on a bag. I know that brands like Hermes, they have beautiful Twillies, but these Twillies are mostly wrapped around the handle of a bag, and I always feel like you don't really get to enjoy them to their full glory, so to say, given that I don't really have that much of a purpose for them. Personally, I think it's unlikely I'm going to ever buy a Twilly. Next up is fine jewelry. I have a bit of mixed feelings about fine jewelry. There are some pieces that I do like. I like pieces from Cartier. Even the silver pieces from Hermes are pretty cool. I never really reached the point where I wanted to pull the trigger on a piece of fine jewelry. I think the issue that I have with fine jewelry, and I think it's something that other YouTubers have as well, is that you could get a craftsperson to create something for you that is just as special as unique and that has the same type of quality, because there's such an objectivity to the materials that are being used. 24 karat gold is 24 karat gold, right? While if it comes to bags and the leather and the craftsmanship, yes, you are still overpaying for a bag, obviously, with a lot of brands. But let's say that you would want to get like the Togo leather from Hermes, there's probably not a lot of places that can just get that kind of leather for you. So I really feel with fine jewelry that you're really overpaying in that sense, while you could have something beautifully crafted for you personally, which would basically consist of the same materials. I'm not fully excluding it, but I think it's unlikely that I would be purchasing fine jewelry from a luxury brand. And then moving on to bag charms. I think for me it's a bit in the same category as Twillies. I don't really use bag charms, even though with bag charms they are an addition to your bag, so they're really fun and they really catch your eye more, I think, than that a Twilly does. It's still quite a lot of money for something that is really just decorative. I mean, at least a Twilly has a purpose usually, like it's both decorative and it's also to protect the handle of your bag, and a bag charm is just kind of cute. So I did put this higher on my probability list than the Twilly, and I think that is merely because I could potentially be a sucker for a bag charm. I already know that. If it is cute enough, I might still get it. I've been close to buying bag charms, so not luxury bag charms, but just regular bag charms. Well, I've never been close to buying a Twilly. Okay, so then we're heading a bit more towards the realm of possibilities. So next on my list was actually belts. This is a bit of an odd one because technically I don't really wear belts all that often. I'm quite a bit about comfort, and I always feel with belts that they just get uncomfortable around my waist because they're usually just at a fixed length, of course. So on the one hand, I do think that a belt could be a very good, long-lasting sort of luxury investment. I do believe that is something that you could potentially really enjoy for years, and that's what I do appreciate about belts. But because I usually find them so uncomfortable, I think the only belt I would really opt for is the Hermes Kelly belt, which basically has infinite adjustment possibilities. The only problem with that being, except for the price, that I think it goes up to 100 centimeters, and for a somewhat bigger girl like myself, I already know it's not going to be enough. Perhaps they also have it in bigger sizes, but in this point in time, I'm not going to spend so much money on a belt that will probably barely fit me, so to say. Next on my list are scarves. Twillies were already off the list. They're also a type of scarf, obviously. I think that any silks are also off the list because I know what a klutz I can be. And I think that a silk scarf, it's probably something I'm just going to ruin in due time. But I think I could consider a scarf of a somewhat thicker material, something that doesn't snag too easily. I just want to be sure that if I do get something expensive, that it can withstand a little suffering. And I've been fairly close to buying scarf as well. So last year there was this scarf from Givenchy that I really liked. I've also considered once to get one of those Alexander McQueen scarves with the skulls, but frankly I think I am already getting too old for that, even though it's kind of a classic. Also, scarves can be fairly affordable. So yeah, I think a scarf could definitely be in the realm of possibilities. I just have so many scarves that I try to be a bit cautious of what scarves I'm still adding to my collection. Right, then next on my list is ready to wear. I think overall ready to wear is really expensive. I can be surprised sometimes by how much a piece of ready to wear can cost opposed to what a bag from the same brand costs. Your taste changes over time, your body changes over time, and that's why it's not all that sensible in general to spend a lot of money on ready to wear. But frankly, I could see it happening that I would invest in a piece of or multiple pieces of luxury ready to wear, but I think those would probably be, first of all, outerwear. So here I'm really thinking about categories of clothing that I don't need to wash all that often because frankly they are not really all that washable. So then you will have to take them to a dry cleaners, and that's just going to be expensive and cumbersome. But perhaps if I stumble like on a nice jacket or a coat or something like that, perhaps a leather jacket, that might be something I would be willing to invest in. And I think another category, which would basically be totally on the opposite, perhaps a hoodie. Even if I don't want to wear it in public in the long run, it might still be an item that I would appreciate wearing at home or in my free time. So a t-shirt could also be okay, for example, that also doesn't necessarily have to break the bank all that much. Does that classify as ready to wear? I'm not quite sure, but you understand what I am getting at. So I would probably either go for the outerwear that has a bit more of the longevity and that doesn't need to be taken care of all of the time. Or on the other hand, I would go for the probably more cheaper items that hopefully could be washed, but that in some shape or form I also get to enjoy a bit more in the longer run, because they also have a functionality within my home. So I haven't been tempted all that much, but that is definitely something that I would see happening. Then we have designer shoes. I think more specifically designer sneakers. I can remember some years ago that the Alexander McQueen sneakers were a really big thing. There were also these Isabelle Etoile Marron sneakers. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but they were these platform sneakers that were also really popular. I think with sneakers, there's really this sort of aspect of influencing that more than designer bags, I see designer sneakers on the street. Also the Balenciaga sneakers. I don't think I was ever really tempted to get those because I do really think they're bulky and don't fit my style all that much. But I have been having an obsession a little bit over the Alexander McQueen sneakers ever since they came out. I just never really ended up pulling the trigger on those. I heard some mixed stories about how comfortable they were. I was a bit confused about the sizing, but I still think they look pretty cool. Also, Golden Goose sneakers, that might be something that I want to try out. I do actually wear a lot of sneakers, and I might be tempted into getting like another type of shoe, but at least I would like to have something that's also fairly comfortable. Getting like Christian Louboutin high heels, that is just not something that I'm going to do. That just doesn't fit my lifestyle. But getting comfortable sneakers, that could be something that works for me. And especially if these are leather sneakers, I think they're also going to have some longevity to them as well. So I'm not such a big fan of shoes or sneakers as I am of handbags, but it's definitely something that I could see happening. It's just something that I haven't done yet. And then the final luxury item that I haven't gotten yet, and I'm hoping not to get, but that I'm kind of scared of getting now that we've reached the end of the list, is a bag made of canvas or fabric. So the thing is that I am really a sucker for bags, and history has already proven that I'm willing to spend luxury type of money on bags. Thus far, I've only invested in leather bags, except for the Longchamp Le Pliage bags, but those don't really break the bank, fortunately. And thus far, I've been kind of reluctant to spending such a large amount of money on a bag not made of leather, because in my head it just doesn't make sense to some extent, and I know that leather bags are also horribly overpriced when it comes to luxury, but I even feel that sensation much more when it comes to canvas or fabric. But fabrics like nylon and also canvas can have pretty good durability to them, and usually they are way more water resistant than the average leather bag would be. There's only so many leather bags that I'm willing to take out in the pouring rain. Well, I know that there's so many people that are willing to take the Louis Vuitton canvas out in the rain. And frankly, the other day I even found myself on the Louis Vuitton website looking into one of those collaboration pieces with Kusama. I really love to have a piece with those yellowy orange pumpkins on the one side and with the blue pumpkins on the other side. And their cosmetics pouch is actually also one that you could convert to a bag. But again, decided, at least thus far, and I'm probably going to miss out because I'll probably be late, but thus far I've decided not to pull the trigger because I'm kind of scared, because it has a print on the canvas, that print might actually be a bit delicate and that might wear over time. So it goes against my idea of getting canvas which would be weatherproof and water resistant and all that kind of stuff, just to get a piece which then might have this fairly delicate print on it. So I don't know, I've never had a piece from Louis Vuitton, and especially not a piece that had printing on it. I think it's really beautiful and I think it's really interesting, and that's why I think if it is the right piece, just merely for the fact that it is a handbag, that it's definitely something I would be willing to add to my collection. So that's it for today. I suppose it's frankly just a bunch of unpopular opinions about luxury items, and honestly, you really shouldn't be caring about what I have to say about this topic, because I'm just a crazy handbag lady. Please don't take offense. You can definitely make better decisions for yourself than I can do for you. But who knows, perhaps I've given you a little bit to think about, and otherwise I hope you found this video entertaining. For now, remember, there's a styling situation and a taste for everything, so don't judge, wear whatever the bag you like. Until next time, or as we would say in Dutch, doei!